So what happened? I'm sorry. I'm truly and sincerely sorry that it happened. I've been there, and as well as hundreds and thousands and millions of people have been in the same shoes that you are, and we can all get through this together. I know when it happened to me, one of the things I did to help me feel better is go through some YouTube videos on things that I could do, or things that people were going through when this was happening. So I figured that now that I have successfully recovered from my breakup, that you will too, because they know this is a very, very deep and tough time for you to be searching for these videos here on YouTube. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on to those 9 tips that will help you get your life back together and come at it back as a stronger person after your breakup. Now, when I went through my breakup, mine was a long-distance relationship type of thing. I went down to visit her for a family emergency, and then after the emergency, she basically said, "Tony, I don't love you anymore." And that was that. The problem was I still had 2 more days of living in the same house with that person before I went back home. So for those 2 days, they were very awkward, and this was my first real big relationship. And I, for those 2 days, read a book. The book is called a Breakup Because It's Broken. This book was filled with tons of tactics that I could use to help me get situated again, get my life back together, start feeling good about myself, because I know it's a really dark time that you're in, right after that initial breakup. So some of these tactics are going to be from that book, and some of them are that I've used that have helped me out. Now, the first thing you need to realize, which is step 1, be happy that it's over. That seems like the most impossible thing to do, right? That's the last thing on your mind, because you're thinking, I don't want this relationship to end. I want to go back to the person. I want to win back my ex. Why did this have to happen? This is the worst thing ever. But for me, it's been 4.5 months since my breakup of a relationship that was 4.5 years. I finally came to the realization the other day that why did my relationship not end sooner? Which seems like the weirdest thing to think about, right? But I realized that it wasn't going to work out, and I was a little frustrated that it actually ended up lasting 4.5 years, because if it ended sooner, I could have gotten my life back together faster and would have started actually moving on and making more progress sooner. It's the weirdest thing. You're gonna have this realization, and it's gonna take you some time to get there, but when you do, it is going to be amazing. So I want you to know that you need to be very happy that this is over, because it wasn't going to work out. And now that it ended, you can start doing the things you want to do, start achieving the things you want without having that relationship hold you back. Now, number 2. This is a tactic that I read in the book, and it was no communication with your ex for 60 days. It seems like a very hard thing to do, very ridiculous thing to do, but it was the best thing that has ever happened to me. And when I first read this, I thought, I'm not going to do this. This is stupid. This is crazy. I think I'm going to keep communication. I want to try to be friends with my ex. But I brought this no 60 days idea, no talking for 60 days idea to my friend. And my friend had 2 relationships, big relationships in his life. The first one, when he broke it off, he had no communication with his ex. He said that it was wonderful, because it was like ripping off a Band-Aid, and he just moved on with his life. Now, his last relationship, after they split, they kept communication, and it just got really awkward of them trying to do things to make each other jealous, kind of secretly want to win each other back, and it just added a new level of drama to the end relationship that was already a mess in their life. So when I brought up the idea to him, he said, Tony, you have to absolutely do this, because out of those 2 relationships that I had, the one where I broke it off instantly and had no communication for 60 days really was the greatest way to end a relationship. So I brought it up to my partner, and at first she was very against the idea, but she understood, and that's what we did. We did the 60 days, and I gotta tell you, it was a rough 60 days. I'm not gonna lie. There were times where I wanted to call my ex. There were times where I wanted to text my ex, but I didn't do it. And I feel like I'm a better and stronger person because I didn't do it, and she didn't do it either. And when the 60 days were up, I just had no need anymore to want to even talk to my ex. So I didn't. And I haven't, and apparently she hasn't either. So just since then, we haven't talked, and that's fine. And I'm happy for her that she hasn't want to, and I'm happy for myself that I haven't want to. And it feels like it was like the cleanest breakup ever. So I would highly recommend doing the 60 days of no communication, because it's really going to give you some time to clear your head. Now, moving on to step 3 that I recommend is, this was in the book. It recommended you to have a breakup buddy. Pick one of your friends, 2 or 3 if you have to, and tell them, hey, I'm going through a really rough time. For the next 60 days, maybe 3 months, as long as you need them, you say, I want you to be my breakup buddy. And that is, if in the middle of the night, or if I'm feeling sad and I have the urgency to go back to my ex, or I'm feeling down, I want to be able to talk to you instead. And you can call that person, text that person, and they will lift you up. I did this. I asked my friend to be my breakup buddy. He said yes. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't even need him at all during that whole experience. But just the fact of knowing that somebody was there to take care of me through those 60 days really helped me get through it. Number 4 is a thing that everybody does, and that is to get rid of the things that remind you of your ex. But the way that I did it was recommended in the book. You take all of the things that like really remind you of your ex, and you put them all in a box, right? Instead of throwing things away like when it happens, and start tearing all the photographs up and throwing things in, the garbage out the window, or doing this yard sale of buy my ex's stuff. No, just put them all in a box. Put that box in your closet. And after those 60 days of clearing your head, come back to that box, open that box, and then decide what you want to do. There might be some stuff in there you want to keep. There might be some stuff in there you actually really don't need. But you will have a clear head to go back to that box and really figure out what you need to do with some of those items. I did that. I put all of her stuff that she gave me, or that reminded me of her, into a box, and I actually gave that box to my breakup buddy, and I said, you just hold on to this for 60 days. I'll come back and I'll pick it up. And after the 60 days were up, I decided I wanted to open it with my breakup buddy, because I thought it would be a nice experience to just share with him the kind of stuff that I left in there. And we did that, and it was nice. And some of that stuff I actually threw away. Some of the stuff was actually pretty cool, and I left it because some of the stuff was like cool looking weapons, like my rack back there, because I collect really fancy sharp objects. But I really like doing that method because it also gave me something to look forward to at the end of those 60 days, where, oh yeah, I get to go back to that box, and actually there were stuff in there that I actually wanted. So that was actually a lot of fun doing that, and throwing stuff away also was a wonderful relief. Now, tip 5, which is something that I don't do. I thought this was stupid. It was in the book that I was reading. Step 5 is keep a journal. I'm going to be honest. I thought it was dumb. I don't journal ever. And the book said once a day, like when you wake up, maybe before you go to bed, just jot down your feelings. And just jotting them down and like clearing them out of your head is really going to help you out. So I thought it was stupid, but I did it. I got a journal, and I honestly did this twice a week. That, like, very little, very minimum to it. But For those 2 times a week, I actually really enjoyed jotting down in the journal. And from what became like feelings jotting down eventually became ideas and goals and progress. And now I actually love to journal because it's just a way for me to clear my head and just put everything on paper and see how my mind works and what do I need to do to accomplish, or just some of my hidden goals that my mind wants to achieve. Now I'll give you a quick bonus tip, 5.5, I guess, and that is to look at other breakup stories, like bad breakup stories, because in the book, it's called A Breakup because it's broken. The book was filled with tons of breakup stories, and when I was reading it, I was thinking, what the heck is up with all these breakup stories? But they were like really ridiculous ones where one partner leaves the other one at the side of the road, or one partner like throws all of their stuff into a pool. And after reading those, you realize, wow, my breakup was not that bad. You know, Schadenfreude, you feel happiness at the misfortune of others. That's kind of what it is. But you also realize that like your misfortune isn't as bad as some of the ridiculous things that people have gone through. So just do that for fun, you know. Look at other people's horror breakup stories and just be glad yours wasn't that bad. Now, tip number 6 is I had so much fun with tip number 6. Tip number 6 is to rearrange your room. Rearrange your house, rearrange your workspace, do something different. I started off by cleaning out my closet, and I just rearranged my closet. And I found so much satisfaction and relief and just a clearness of my head when I did that I actually moved it over and I rearranged my entire room. And from what I think I've made my room the best it has ever been in my entire life yet, as well as my closet. And after doing that, you really feel like you're refreshing your life and you're starting as a new person. And it's really going to help kickstart your journey towards that recovery of feeling better. And if you can't do that, if you don't have the time to completely redo your room or move your bed around, then at least just take the pillow and put the pillow on the other side of the bed. If you do that and you wake up on the other side of the bed, you're going to feel like a different person, right? It's the tiniest little thing you could do, but it works magic. And I really hope you do this one, and I really hope you have a lot of fun and enjoy redecorating your room. Now, number 7, stop thinking that it was your fault. This was something that I really had to fight because my relationship, when it ended, my partner said, "Tony, I don't love you anymore." That was that. I wanted to know why. My head could not understand the fact of somebody just losing love for somebody. I was thinking maybe it's the way I talk, maybe it's my hairstyle, maybe I'm not the perfect physique, maybe it's my ambitions, my goals, maybe I'm not spending enough time with my partner. But really, that's all it was. I even asked, I said, is there another person in there? You can be honest, because we were always honest. We're like family. I'm like, are you a lesbian now? What's going on? And the simple thing was, I just don't love you anymore. And I was going through a lot of chaos in my head thinking that there's obviously something wrong with me if this wasn't working out. But it's not you, it's the relationship. That's what it is. Be happy the relationship is over because it wasn't going to work out. But never, ever be sorry for yourself. I have another video where I talk about this. If you just start feeling sorry for yourself, it will destroy your life. It will destroy the people around you. Are going to want to stop spending less time with you because you're always depressed and you're bringing other people down. And when you're feeling sorry for yourself, you actually start doing more sadder things and talking about more sadder topics in your life rather than you would be if you were actually feeling happy for yourself. So understand that it was not your fault that this has happened. You are a wonderful, beautiful, amazing person, and I know there's someone out there who's going to love you for every single fiber of your being. But that relationship didn't work out. You got a lot of knowledge and tactics and skills from it, so you can mark it off your list and move on and start looking for that next person who's going to love you for who you are. 6, 7, 8. Number 8 is go out with some friends. Do it. Friends are what's gonna help you recover through this. Well, I know when I got back to Las Vegas from my long distance trip, the first thing I did is go hang out with friends. And I started going out and seeing my friends a lot more because they were helping me recover and making me feel better, because you know that there are people out there who care about you. If you start spending time with friends and family, you realize that you're able to feel love. You're able to be loved. If you're spending time with friends, you're not going to feel sorry for yourself. Which bounces off number 7 if you do number 8 and hang out with friends. I know what I did is a lot of my friends are on the Xbox, so I actually went out and I bought an Xbox and I started playing video games with my friends, and that really helped me recover. But eventually when I actually started feeling better again, I sold my Xbox because I realized it was wasting too much time in my life. But I used it as a tool to go hang out with friends to help me recover, to help me feel better. So I'd highly recommend doing that. And number nine is to start a new hobby. And why start a new hobby? You probably hear this a lot. And I say start a new hobby because you have so much free time now. I'm not going to lie. Now that you're single, you have so much more free time. You're no longer texting that person. You're no longer going out on dates, spending time with that person, and you need to find something to fill that time. And I want you to find something productive that will fill that time, whether it's reading books, learning a new instrument, joining a club, starting a new exercise regime. But please do not fill that void of time with wasted time on video games, wasted time binging, watching movies and TV shows, or wasting all of that time watching porn. Seriously. I almost fell down that rabbit hole, but I'm so glad that I didn't. You have tons of new time, and you want to find out what you're going to love to do to help you recover and what you can actually start mastering at, because now you have that extra time, and no one's going to take that time away from you except yourself. And it's your decision. Right now, it's your decision to take that next step and to rebuild yourself as a newer and better person instead of just sitting there and feeling sorry for yourself. So hopefully this video has helped you. I know this is something that I needed to hear when I went through my breakup. So I hope putting this out is actually going out to help somebody who's going through this time of need. If you feel that this has helped or is going to help anybody in any way, please leave a like so more people can see this video. And if you need somebody to talk to, if you want to share how these tips are going to help you, what you're going to do to implement them, or if you just want to share stories, I would be more than happy to comment down with you and reply to your comments and just start a conversation going so I could help you kickstart your life back together, because I know that's something that I really needed when I was going through my breakup. All right, so until then, this has been Tony Sticks, and stay strong and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. One last thing I forgot to mention is if you do want to check out that book that I used to help me recover from my breakup, I put a link down in the description below where you can pick it up. Once again, bye-bye and happy recovering. Excuse me.